Hello, everyone. Happy Canada Egg Day. Thomas Robinson. This is my wife, Leslie. It's a beautiful day here in PEI, and we pre-recorded a farm tour for you all to watch several days ago. We don't have the greatest internet here to do it live, so we pre-recorded it. We're going to play it for you now, and if there's any questions afterwards, we'll be happy to answer them.
Welcome to our farm.
Welcome to Blue Diamond Farm. I'm Thomas Robinson.
I'm Leslie Robinson.
I'm Lanae Robinson and I'm 9. I'm Rosie Robinson and I'm 6.5.
Miranda, say your name.
I'm 4.
What do we say?
My name.
Say, how old are you? And Miranda's 4. And this is Benjamin. He's 1.5 years.
So Blue Diamond Farm is located in Freetown, Prince Edward Island. We're milking 75 cows in a robot milking machine. My wife and I purchased the farm 7 years ago. We are second generation dairy farmers here. My father and mother farmed in Nova Scotia for over 20 years, and then we came here in 2003, started this operation. So I come out in the morning around 5:30 in the morning, look at the robot milking machine is the first thing that we do, make sure everything is okay. So this is the DeLaval V300 milking robot. We put this in 15 months ago. So the cow comes in, first thing that happens is she starts to get fed grain. That's what makes her want to come into the robot. Cows also like to get milked. The robot arm grabs the wash cup, puts a wash cup on each teat with warm water, and then pulsates the teat a couple of times to stimulate her to let her milk down. Then it blow dries the teat dry and moves on to the next teat, does all 4, and then the robot arm then grabs the milking cups and puts each cup on each teat individually. So this is the nicest way to milk cows, the most comfortable way for the cow. Every dairy cow has an udder that produces the milk. Within that udder, there's 4 quarters. Each quarter has a teat connected to it. This is the monitor for the V300. It's right now milking a cow, shows each quarter. So in her back left quarter, right now she's giving 3.2 kilos of milk. She's projected to give 5 kilos of milk, and her flow rate is 1,200 grams per minute. You can monitor productivity closely this way. The cow's finishing up now. When the cow is done, the arm goes underneath of her, it flips over and sprays an iodine on the teats. It's kind of like a lotion that goes on them, and it also helps fight bacteria. And then when it's done that, it releases the cow. It washes the eye on the robot that senses where the teats are, and it's ready for the next cow. We then come out into the barn, check on the cows. We scrape up the feed from the previous day. We feed them new feed. So what they're eating consists of grass silage and corn silage, also mixed with barley and a supplement. Corn is very good for energy to put body condition on the cows, a good balanced diet with the grass silage to try to make the highest volume of milk that we can. They love the silage. They especially love the grain that's in the silage. It's like candy to them. They really like it. They eat all of it, and they eat a lot of it. So the neat thing about the robot is it's connected to my phone. I need milk for the calves, so I need to do this twice a day. So I can go into my phone and take some milk from the robot, put it into some buckets, and go feed the calves. Let's go and feed the calves in the hutches. The newest calves we feed on the bottle, and the older calves we feed in the buckets in the hutches. Okay, so we're going to get in the tractor and mixer right now. We're going to go down to the silage bunks, and we're going to get into another tractor and mix up some grass silage and corn silage together in the mix for the cows to eat. This is the milk tank where the milk is stored from the robotic milker. It comes through these pipes here into the tank. The milk truck comes from ADL every second day, picks up the milk, takes it to the processing plant where it's processed into milk, butter, cheese, cream, yogurt, many dairy products. Quality milk obviously is number one to us here at PEI at ADL processing plant. We do a great job producing top quality milk. I think it's important to stay on top of our game and always be learning new ways to do things and keep producing top quality product.
When I first joined the farm, I would do milkings as well, and Tom and I would do chores together. But once we had kids, that was a little bit more complicated because our barn is not set up to have kids come in and be there while we're working. But once we had our children, my role became more the bookwork, and as I could find childcare in the summer, field work. The robot has really changed things because now, rather than me take on the bulk of the work with the family and kids and their schedules, Tom is freed up with the flexibility to come and join us for a lot of their activities, whether it's skating or dance classes or soccer. He can now join and be a part of that because he's not tied down to a very specific milking schedule. And one of my favorite parts about the farm for our children is that they almost always know where Dad is, even when he's in his busiest seasons or if things are broken down. If Dad can't come in and be with us on a birthday or Father's Day or whatever, no problem, we go to him.
Living on a farm is really exciting, and I love to come out in the barn and work with my dad. It just makes me feel so happy to come out in the barn and look. There's so much to do, and me and my dad can just be together, and we can do everything in the barn we're supposed to, and it's really happy to me that we live on a farm.
That was our farm tour. If there's any questions at all or comments, we'd be happy to answer them for you.
We love cows too.
What is your favorite part about farming? There's, I guess, quite a few things that we love about farming. We're self-employed, so we kind of have control of our business and the hours we work and what we do on every day basis. But we love working with the animals. We love working with the machinery. Being outside is very appealing to us. I am not an indoors person. I could not be sitting at a desk all day long. I like being outside. The challenges every day is can be rewarding, also very challenging. There's lots can go wrong every day, but there's lots that can be right every day. So you never know when you wake up in the morning what the day brings, and it makes things very interesting. So we like being at home, and the kids are always here with us, and it's many different things. Are cows able to produce milk year-round? They can, yes. Your typical lactation on a cow is about 305 days. So when she first has a baby, she gets going, she starts milk producing. She starts to peak at 60 days to 100 days in milk. That's when it's time to also get her back bred and pregnant again. When she gets pregnant, she'll milk for another 220 days or so. And then we always give them a break. So at about 230 days in lactation or pregnancy, we give them a 2-month break. And then after that 2-month break, they then have another baby calf, and then we start milking them again.
And the gestation period for cows is the same as it is for humans. So a cow is pregnant the same amount of time a human person would be pregnant with a baby. So for about 9 months.
Are there any other employees working at your farm? So we currently don't have any other employees. Our father, my father, helps out on the farm as much as he can. He's away snowmobiling right now, having fun. And so I'm on the farm myself doing the work, and my wife helps out when she can, and
does the books.
And does all the book work. So we normally would like to have an employee. Part reason why we went with the robot is because employees here in many farming industries is very difficult to come by right now. So we currently don't have an employee, but we would love to have one.
Not everybody likes working outside. So that's a particular challenge in the winter we find with having herds people.
Do the cows like milking with the robot? I find the cows much calmer in the barn now that we have the robot. The robot is very consistent. It never changes its way of milking the cow. It doesn't get frustrated. It is never late. It does the same routine every single cow. Nothing changes. So the cows like that. They love the consistency. That's probably the number one thing that cows love is consistency. And they also get grain in the robot. So it's very intriguing to them to come into that little box that they end up going into, but they get quite a bit of grain in there. And we change it up every once in a while, the flavoring of it, to keep them wanting to come in the robot as much as possible and enjoy being in there.
The thing that's different too about one of us milking the cows versus the robot, when Tom's talking about consistency, there's a big difference between Tom milking the cows or me milking the cows or somebody else coming in, because we do little things different that might not seem significant to us but feel different for the cows. And if there's somebody in the barn, even just in the parlor at milking time talking, that the cows aren't familiar with, they're not as relaxed as they would be if it was Tom, who they're used to every day. So the problem with them not being relaxed is they don't let down their milk because they're tensed up. So it's kind of like any of us. When we're around somebody new, we're not as relaxed and comfortable as when we're around people that we're used to and familiar with.
What is silage and how is it made? So we do different types of silages here. We do grass silage and corn silage. So silage is just what the cows eat. It's the grass silage is grass that's mowed one day and then chopped the next, and then we put it into large bunkers. We pack it with heavy tractors and cover it up with plastic and tires and mats to keep the plastic down, and then we feed it to the cows. So you can make dry hay, which is also grass, the exact same grass, but you leave it out into the field for several days, let the sun dry it up, and then you can bale it and feed it to the cows that way without covering it up with plastic. So silage is just wetter grass that we feed to the cows. The corn silage, we take the entire plant when we chop the corn. You can do corn several different ways. Corn snaplage, where you're taking the whole cob, and then you can do grain corn, where you're just taking the kernels of the corn. But when we take the entire plant, we call it corn silage, and we do it the same way as the grass. We chop it, we put it in bunks, we pack it, we cover it up with plastic, tires and mats on top of the plastic, and then we feed it to the cows.
And it ferments.
Where does all the silage come from? So we have a little over 200 acres of land. We're growing 120 acres of grassland that we cut 3 times a year. First cut is usually around the 1st of June. And then we do a second cut 30 days later, and then a third cut also 30 days later, weather permitting. And then the corn, we plant it every May, and then we chop it sometime in September, and we grow about 70 acres of that. And every few years, sometimes we start to run low on inventory, so then we have to rent some land from neighboring farms nearby that do some crop rotations, and we'll put some corn in their fields, or we'll get some grassland for them from their fields and make it. And yeah, that's how we do our silage. What changes the flavor of the food in the robot? So right now we're feeding a robot pellet that is barley and wheat mixed with some molasses. So the molasses is the flavoring part of it that the cows really enjoy. We were feeding a pellet a little bit ago that was caramel flavoring, and there's some other flavorings that you can get that is intriguing to the cows. They like tasting something a little different every once in a while. Sometimes they may get used to it and not want to eat it. It'd be the same thing as eating pizza every single day. You eventually get tired of it, so it's nice to change it up every once in a while. So we do that in the robot, and we might just switch back and forth from caramel flavoring to molasses flavoring, and unless there's something else new that comes out that the cows like, and then we'll try that. Why are the calves in hutches? So we put the calves in the hutches for the first 2 months of their lives, and then they go up to another barn where they're grouped housed with 3 or 4 or 5 in each group. They're in the hutches for several reasons outside. They do very well outside. They don't mind the cold. Cold doesn't really bother cows that much. It's the dampness and the drafts that the calves don't like and cows don't like. So we put blankets on all of our calves in the wintertime. They're in hutches. When it's windy out or storm days, we have doors that go on the front of the hutches to keep the wind from coming inside in the snow or rain. But they do very well in there. There's lots of bedding. They have buckets inside of water and grain, and I give them their milk twice a day, warm milk twice a day. It's nice to keep them all on their own, separate, we find, so that if one calf gets a little sick for many different reasons, she catches a little pneumonia or a cold or something, that she's not going to pass it along to the other calves. We can also put heat lamps inside the hutches to keep them warm if a calf's not feeling well. And yeah, it's just to help from spreading diseases or any issues that the calves have. We like them being in those individual hutches, and they can come in and out of the hutches on the nice days. They have collars on. They can run outside of the hutch. They can see all the other calves. Right now, it's a beautiful day outside and the sun is shining. It's about +3 out there right now, and all the calves are laying outside on snow, enjoying the sun. So yeah, we like it in the hutches.
It keeps them safe as well. So one we get asked about the hutches all the time, right, Tom?
Yeah.
That's one of the most frequent questions we get asked, especially because our hutches are in the front of our barn, so you can see them driving by. But it helps to keep them safe as well. Some people are really upset when they find out that the calf is separated from the mother not long after it's born. But the reason we do that is because if you keep them together, what happens sometimes is the cow can accidentally step on or lay on the calf. So it's very similar to the reason why parents are advised not to sleep in the same bed as their baby. The baby should be in a bassinet or a crib so that the parents don't accidentally roll on to the baby. And it's the exact same thing for cows. So it keeps them safe in that way too.
What skill is the most important when working on your dairy farm? Oh, I don't know which one would be. You need many, many skills when you're working on a dairy farm. Attention to detail is one that we really like. You got to be you got to have a good eye on the farm when you're working around the animals. You need to know and pick up very quickly if there's something wrong with a cow or calf. If something is broken, it needs to be fixed. So a good person who can visually see any issues or things that needs to be attended to is a great skill to have. Not everybody has that. A lot of it's really natural to have, but some people just I don't know what the words I'm looking for.
Just don't pick up on details as quickly or easily as others. The other thing is problem solving.
Yeah, problem solving is another one. There's some things that sometimes I'm not home running errands or at meetings or many different things, running with the kids. And whoever is here needs to be able to fix something or replace something or very quickly figure out how to do something. So if the robot happens to stop for whatever reason, there's 1,000 reasons why it would stop. Without contacting me, it would be great to have a person that can just go to the robot and figure it out. If they can't figure it out, then call the DeLaval reps that we have, and they'll figure it out with you. So problem solving is a good one.
Creativity is a big part of that, because oftentimes if we're talking about a piece of machinery in the field or when we're spreading manure and if there's a hole in the hose and we don't have the pressure we need, sometimes the parts that Tom needs to fix a piece of equipment isn't available right away. You could wait days or weeks for something to come in. So one of the skills that I really value, and I'm always amazed because Tom and Brian, his dad, over the years have come up with some really, really creative solutions to problems that couldn't be solved the conventional or traditional way right away. And so creativity in problem solving is huge as well.
What do the cows lay on? So the milk cows and dry cows that are having their break from milking that are going to calve soon, they're all laying on mats installs. The mats are thick foam that when you stand on, your feet will sink into the mat, and there's a little rubber mat coating over the top to protect the foam. That's what the cows lay on. And then we put sawdust or shavings on top. It's just like wood chippings, but really, really fine. That helps absorb any moisture that's underneath of the cow. Sometimes she'll start leaking milk if she needs to be milked soon, and that will help absorb the milk. It also creates as a bedding that makes the surface that she's laying on softer, more comfortable. And then the calves in the hutches and my heifer barn, we bed with straw that we purchased from the local grain growers around here. And we make sure that they're very well bedded. The drier they are, the better.
That's what we lay on. That's what the cows lay on at our farm now. There's all kinds of different materials that farmers can use for bedding. including we've also used peat moss in the past. We've also used sand in our stalls, and we've had bed pack where all of the cows are on straw. So it depends from farm to farm, but this is what Tom has found our cows do better with at our place.
What is the most challenging part of your job? What is the most rewarding? The most rewarding would be that, caring for the animals, watching each generation take place and grow and develop. We really like working with the genetics in our herd of cows to make the next generation better, whether they're more profitable in milk production with the higher butterfat and protein yields, or they last longer in the barn because their feet and legs are better or their udders are stronger.
That means healthier.
So that's one part that we find really rewarding. We like working with the animals. Providing a food product for people to consume, and for it to be top quality is something that's very rewarding for us. We've won a few awards, and along with many other island producers. And when we get those awards for top quality milk, it's a very proud moment for us. We want to do the best job that we can to make sure that the dairy farmers have a good product to provide to its consumers and continue its great name of good quality products. The most challenging would be different issues with, there's many different things, but weather would be a big one. When we had a very bad hurricane a little while ago, it caused a lot of damage. Crops get ruined very quickly, which then you need to try to scramble to get them collected off of the fields. Fixing things on a daily basis. There's always something that's going wrong, it seems, because there's so much to go wrong. But that's part of the challenge. And some things are very small and it's easy fixed and takes no time at all. And other things, it's very challenging. And right now, with the prices changing of everything, the price of fuel is very high, price of grains is very high, just the way that the world is working right now. So it's a challenge to make sure that we keep on top of things so that we can continue to run our business efficiently and still be profitable. Is there a guide for starting your own dairy farm? No, there's no guide. It's, it can be done. And I was lucky enough to inherit this farm. We purchased it from my father 7 years ago. It's not something that's easy to get into, but it's something that you definitely can with a lot of hard work and time and effort. It's with the way farms are now, land is very expensive, equipment is very expensive, so it's not something easy to get into. But if you can find a way to do it, then I wish it on anybody that wants to farm. It's a great life. It can be very fun. It can be very rewarding. It definitely is challenging, but if you're up for the challenge, then dairy farming or any farming is very fun to do. And we're glad that we chose this as our lives, our careers, and I wouldn't change it for anything else.
Young farmers and future farmers, if you're looking for a guide, that's probably as close as you'll get.
Yeah, there's a couple of different programs that you can look into. The Future Farmer program is one that can help you kind of get started if you're thinking about it, and many provinces offer it. And I suggest anybody who's looking at wanting to get into dairy farming is one place that you can go. What is your favorite dairy product? Oh, we like dairy a lot. See, cheese and ice cream is probably our favorites, and obviously chocolate milk and white milk. We drink a lot of it. But there's a nice little dairy bar that's only 5 minutes from here, and my kids love ice cream, and we go there pretty much every week. We go there for a treat after soccer or dance class or anything at all. So we love our ice cream, we love our milk, and cheese and yogurt and sour cream and butter, and we love all dairy.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for the questions. So thank you very much for joining our farm on Canada Ag Day, and hopefully you enjoyed the video, and have a great day, everyone.